We do have a special guest today, Yakin Shah from Business Labs. He's been a third-party developer on the Brilliant Directories platform, I want to say for over a decade. But David, if it's all right with you, I can pass over the reins. And Yakin has a great presentation for us on getting our first 100 members for our site and strategies to get us there.
Yeah, Yakin's joined us in a couple previous webinars. Him and his team were one of the very first third-party developers listed in our marketplace. I think it was close to a decade ago now. I think it was 7 or 8 years ago. And Yakin and his team, they've worked with probably at this point hundreds of BD users and on their website. So him and his team have really been able to identify what seems to work best for BD websites. And so that's kind of what this presentation that he put together is all about, kind of just some simple tips to really provide some best practices when it comes to launching quickly, efficiently, and what elements the website should really focus on to optimize conversions. And specifically in this case, getting the first 100 members. That way the website can really start to build momentum and continue to grow from there. So Yakin, thanks for joining us. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, David. And thank you, everyone who has been the part of our journey so far. So yes, it has been an exciting journey of 10 plus years with BD as official partners and a little more time as a BD site owner myself. So this webinar is just a reflection of how I've started so many websites on my own before becoming a Brilliant Directories development partner as a site owner. And what one thing clicked for me was how can I launch a website in 2 hours record time? And the first thing comes is the homepage. And this webinar is a reflection of that how one of the good projects took less time to build. It doesn't require capital to build. It required clarity to build.
I want to say something about that, Yakin. I wholeheartedly believe with what you said, especially if you're a digital marketer, speed to market is key. And you mentioned 2 hours, but well, being the founder of BD, I've done it in 15 minutes, actually. You spin up a homepage, spin up an about page, and then get some Google ads running to the site and see what we can do with that traffic, if we can convert it or not. Some ideas are hit or miss, but that ability to have speed in execution rather than romanticizing your idea too much and getting stuck on, again, the romantic part of the idea that you're after, which is also important, but separating the romanticism of the idea to the ability to execute quickly, we see a huge difference in success with Brilliant Directory sites with those two different methodologies. So I'm really excited about this presentation. I did check it out. So Yakin is going to spill the sauce, guys. Again, he's been a developer on the Brilliant Directories platform in our third-party marketplace for, I'm going to say, 10 plus years. So whether you have a site now and it's seasoned or you're just getting started, listen to these tips. And again, listen to the methodology of what he's trying to share about launching quickly and executing quickly. And there's also something to be said about failing fast, right? Not all ideas are going to be home runs, but if you can fail quickly, you can move on to your next idea. So Yakin, I'm going to try to keep my mouth closed a little bit here and let you do your thing.
Thank you for that. Yeah, failing fast. Nice. So what we are trying to do over here is start simple to get your first 100 members. So when I try to launch my websites or when I try to launch any of my clients' website, I advise them, okay, we will make that Mercedes. We will make all of that. Can we build a bicycle with 5 wheels, not even 2 wheels? Can we build the handle of the bicycle? So can we get our first 100 members? So build the website only for first 100 members. Don't think anything else. Who should be your first 100 members? If you need all the plumbers in that first 100 members, then build that website, build that homepage only targeting or only focusing consumers who want to hire a plumber and nothing else. So once you reach that first 100 members, then think what's next. So start simple. So it helps you launch lean. So if you have to just get plumbers in Texas, you yourself can email 100 people for next 7 days, 700 people, and 100 people might join your website. You solo can do in 2 hours a day. So start simple. Starting simple helps you launch lean. Clarity. So when you are that clear that what you have to do for your first 100 members or next 100 members, you can design everything for them. You will have clarity. You can simplify your call to actions. Your call to actions will not require fancy titles like, are you a business owner, blah, blah, blah. Instead, are you a plumber? Join here. Finished. And the objective for the launch has to be like, we are implementing changes and building only for first 100 members. So means in whatever way we go fast. Now, some of the risks or pitfalls I have learned to avoid, and you will learn to, is I have burned, even today, even last month, I booked losses. We book losses. So we have a deadline. Might means now we have expanded our stuff, 100 different things we do for 100 different people. So whenever I am launching my own ideas to my teammates, I have a deadline. And if by deadline I'm not able to launch, I kill that idea. So booking of losses happens. So never launching because setup never feels done. That was one of the learning that we get every single month whenever we failing out on our ideas, or just we lose interest in the idea. And 99% of the entrepreneurs who never are able to succeed is because of that if they were not able to launch within a record time, over time they lose interest in that. They get distracted with 100 different things happening in their life. Getting stuck in the setup mode is equals to losing momentum. And in the early stage, if we overcomplicate things, it is actually going to confuse visitors and members. We will not get first 100 members if we do that. And that's it. We can move to the next slide. So we just have over here today in this webinar, we are trying to break down your homepage. So there are two screenshots of 5 different things on the right homepage, which is labeled as bloated, and one page on the left hand side you can see which doesn't have so many different things. And in overall this webinar, the next 10 minutes of this webinar, or the next 5 slides or next 7 slides of this webinar is all about launch lean, not tomorrow, today, next 2 hours. Launch fast, focus on one core value. That's it. So we will move to next slide. These are some of the statistics. These statistics for real, first half second or maybe a fraction of that, your customers will make a judgment. Means if their life is clear, they might stay on the website. We don't need fancy design built on React.js. We don't need anything. I have closed high value deals, the life's biggest deals I have closed on emails. People don't care to go even on my website. If I can solve in 2 paragraphs on an email, it's done. Even you don't need a website. So it's very clear that first 1 second or first half second is what average time any users will judge, not just about website, about your offering. 94% of the first impressions are based on site's design, and 75% of visitors judge a site credibility. Means these are the stats. Anyone can take screenshots. In nutshell, more features doesn't equals to more value. More clarity is equals to more trust. That means I have learned that means hundreds of times. Whenever I have not succeeded or whenever I don't succeed in any idea, it's because I or someone involved in my planning or whatsoever, we have done one core mistake: more features.
And you guys notice what Yakin said there. It's not just about the website. He's talking about emails. It could be phone calls that you guys are on. It could be in person. Basically, it comes down to your value proposition and your ability to clearly articulate a simple solution to a problem the person you're engaging with might be having. And this kind of goes back to the point of, we all heard that, sell me this pen. And some people say like, oh, well, it's a pen, it writes well, and the ink lasts a long time. And those are always the wrong answers. You can watch YouTube videos on the way to answer this sell me this pen. What you do with your value proposition, and that's what sell me this pen is all about, is the value proposition. It doesn't matter if it's on the website or in an email or in a phone call. If you know your value proposition and how to present it, that helps. One, it's simple, clarity, as Yakin is mentioning, but then you can talk to people and actually convert people to real signups. So instead of sell me this pen, replace that with sell me your membership plan and why I should join. Why do I need your membership plan? And then figure out how to frame your value proposition that the vast majority of prospective people you speak to will want to say yes and want to sign up, because they either feel that they're missing out. But the key here is the clarity of that value proposition. Not you can do X, Y, and Z and 90 different features you get with your listing. Maybe once you're expanded and you're growing, but when you're first starting, everything needs to be laser focused so the communication is clear. And again, that value proposition can be digested and received in just half a second, as Yakin is pointing out here.
Correct. So this is like clarity beats complexity. This left-hand side is one of my subdomain website, means staking website yet. And on that staking website, we have sent few emails, took some interest. There is a plan of $3,000 a year with 50% advance. We booked 10, 15 sales. Website not launched yet. Pre-booking. That was possible because it only had 3 sections. And on the right-hand side is an example of 80% of the clients when they come to us that I brought brilliant directories, I done all this. Now what? No one is joining. So 90% of 80% of times, the right-hand side is the story. And in any of the websites, when we have seen early success, majority of the times, simplicity was the only thing. Means clients were successful with less capital more faster, and clients were less successful with more capital infusion. So that was in nutshell our experience so far with all the entrepreneurs. Less capital, you will get success fast. More capital, you will build so many things no one will buy. So we will go to the next slide. So this presentation do have more 5 slides. So this is tip number 1. There are going to be 5 tips, and my favorite is tip 2 and 3. So tip 1 is one core promise, only just one core promise. Your homepage, who this is, for whom you are building this site. So generally when I build my website, in my homepage, I only talk about the end consumer. If my website is about plumbers, my end consumer is the citizens or the residents who are looking for the plumber. So my homepage will not talk to, are you a plumber? Means that will happen only 5% of the times, probably at the last if required. So I've given like a red cross there. Welcome to our platform for connecting professionals. Means very regular title. And instead, if we can have a top expert in 24 hours, verified and affordable, means that is more towards the end result that our consumer might have in mind. So we can move to the next slide if you would like to add, please.
Yeah, I would like to add, because you bring up another good point here. That's the bottom point there. Hire a top expert in 20. That is results driven. That is, as you mentioned, the end result, and there's social proof. They're verified and affordable. So and also we're giving them a verb, right? We're tasking them with what they should and what we want them to do. We want them to hire a top expert from our site, and they can be connected within 24 hours. So again, this is results driven. We're telling them the verb that we want them to do. And it's very simple. We're not saying you can do 9 different things. We're saying, a very laser focused action here that you can do. And then probably the button under that is the one thing you can do is start that process of hiring a top expert. So
Exactly.
again, it's action oriented here.
You plant
And
that thing into the people's subconscious mind right there.
Exactly.
So this was our prototype website that we are building, where people can hire fractional CTOs, people can hire fractional tech architects. So if you want to build next LinkedIn, you don't have to hire a $500,000 guy on your payroll, but you can hire a 3,000 hourly guy for 5 hours, and your LinkedIn architecture could be solved. So we are trying to do that over here in this project. So hire a top expert in 24 hours, verified and affordable. So that's it. Means this title only does this, nothing else. And that's one promise only. We are talking to the end consumer. That could be an entrepreneur or business people, the businessman or woman. And that business or person, the person who wants to hire someone, they come on the website, they only see this on the first fold, the hero section, nothing else.
Also, let's talk about your main menu here. Also super focused. I would even argue you could get rid of the home link, because, the logo is generally home. So you really have 3 links here: find, get matched, or join us if you are an expert. So again, very simple, like app-like feel. You're just pushing buttons. And when you remove clutter, you remove guesswork and confusion from the visitor experience, whether that visitor is the end consumer or a potential professional that is going to join your site. And I was going to just plug in, and I mentioned this in the previous webinar also, his homepage is geared towards the consumer finding an expert. So it's very clear what the consumer's role is. But when an expert comes to this website, they inherently understand that this website is a place where they could potentially get connected with more clients, because that is the focus of the website. They're just wondering behind their scene, how big is this company actually? And that's, again, creating trust, credibility, and making yourself appear seasoned as an organization. Those are what you can do to kind of help tip the needle and increase conversions to paid signups. So I'll pass it back over to you, Yakin.
Correct. Think Amazon. If you want to sell something on Amazon, Amazon says, you figure it out. You are a seller. You want money. So you figure it out how you will join us. So basically, if your website can give business to a seller or a service provider, it's their headache. They will figure it out how to contact you. So don't worry about how they will join. We should worry about how can we bring business for them. And once we have that business, if you ask them, you have to, walk 5 miles and then I'm going to give you a lead, they will do that if they need business. So we don't have to worry much about the other side, the supply side. We have to worry about how can we increase the demand side. So we will go to the next slide. Most directories honestly needs only 3 homepage sections. One is search, that we have already seen in the tip number 1, browse by category or service type, that we are going to see in the tip number 3, and get matched call to action, just in case if means that depends on the business. Means my directory generally is, I specialize in B2B for myself. I love B2B. So if in B2B, my demand side, the end consumers, customers are business owners or entrepreneurs. So they might have time, they might not have time. So if they have time, they will use the section number 1 and section number 2 to browse or search themselves. If they don't have time, they use my section number 3 to submit that inquiry to me. I do the matchmaking for them. So we will, there are some cool statistics, and these are validated statistics, not just ChatGPT generated. So you can actually read them, take a photo of it, and we will move to the next slide in 1 minute. Target 3 to 5 categories. Even if you are building the next Angie's list, even if you are building next yellow pages, if you are starting today and if you don't have, please have these mathematics in number. You have to hire people, or you can do yourself. Means you can consider yourself an employee on your day 1. Plus you have to hire people. If you can call 100 people a day, and if you launch with 3 or 5 categories, you can yourself do it. If you try to do more than that, if you want to launch with 50 categories, try to hire 10 people and ask them to call 100 people across 5 categories each. So if you want to go lean, always target 3 to 5 categories or service types. Means don't get into the jungle of subcategory, category, subcategory. Forget that for once. End result, plumber, electrician, whether they are subcategory, whether they are subcategory, whatever that is. But find the end service type, pick 3 or 5 of them to whom you can say simple things that, hey, if I can give you business, would you like to join my website? That's it. Means try to choose those service types where you feel you are comfortable with. For example, I don't feel comfortable talking to doctors and selling them on a phone. So I never will pick my service types equals to dentist or equals to anything doctors in my first launch. Maybe when I grow, I will hire someone who specializes in talking to doctors. So likewise, pick your 3 or 5 subcategories or service types and personally reach out 40 or 50 providers in each of those service types. Maybe 5 or 10 will join you and you will not get lost in the subcategory jungle. And we will go to the next slide. It is a continuation to tip 3, I guess.
Let's take a pause for a second. Subcategory jungle. I've never heard that phrase, but I love that. Because what people
for that.
I love that one because look, we've been doing this for a long time. So a lot of people come and, okay, I want to start directory for my local city. We don't have a directory. There's a lot of businesses here. So initially what they do is they go to Yelp or Yellow Pages and they copy and paste like 500, 1,000 categories and subcategories and they add them to their site. But the pitfall there is you have all these categories and now you've lost your focus and you have to fill all those categories. And it feels like a mountain that you'll never climb. Unless you're a highly skilled ninja and you can work efficiently. For a regular person, that becomes a monumental and, overwhelming task. But if you focus, like what Yakin is saying, on 3 to 5 service types or categories and just excel at those. And then after you've filled those up with X number of members, you add another 5 and you grow that way, you'll actually have more control over your growth and emotionally you'll feel better with your morale because you're actually setting yourself up for success because these are doable tasks. As Yakin is saying, you can get, 50 plumbers to join your site in a week's time with emails and phone calls or whatever you're going to use for outreach. And again, that's going to help you want to stay motivated to keep going and then also get you more focused on the conversion game rather than tweaking the website game and playing on the website and what it looks like and things like that. So I love that subcategory jungle because it is a pitfall that many people fall.
And sometimes you will understand that when you do with 3 or 5, you will probably understand, can I remove everything and just keep one service type and build on top of that? And that means, trust me, my successful sites have been for one category, $500,000 a year, done. Means solving a problem for so many people is not equals to success all the times. Means we can't get investors overnight. Means we can't solve those problems. I personally like bootstrapping it. So when I am bootstrapping, starting very small and staying always small and making money just out of that. Yeah, of course we fail, but Jason said if you fail fast, you can do something else once again. So
Yeah, very well.
we can get
This is a huge point. This slide. So, just let that marinate with everyone there for a second.
So put those 3 to 5 categories in your section number 2 of your homepage. Do not use that streaming categories or streaming subcategories thing. Use custom homepage content, drag and drop builder, not dynamic but controlled. Means do it like that because it sticks your photograph. So if we can go to demo bootstrap, we can show that what that streaming looks like and what the static looks like. It's on the screenshot already.
Yeah, and I really like it because it creates that app-like feel. And when you're focused like this with, again, we'll focus on the limited categories, it's an easier sell to the professionals you're targeting. Yeah, we only focus on X, Y, and Z. We only, we're experts in X, Y, and Z, not 90 or 100 different things. So you're, again, back to the value proposition, but with the clarity and focus through, just having a few categories on your site as opposed to hundreds or dozens, you actually increase and improve your value proposition because inherently it seems that you are more focused on servicing that specific niche. So very well said here.
Yeah. So we will move to the next slide. Tip 4 is the third section of your homepage. Should be the or can be the final section of the homepage. Offer a get matched option. Offer it as a concierge service. Don't offer it as a feature of your website. Means people will not understand that. Offer it as a concierge service. So what we do over here is get matched, and people when click on get matched, we show them that the value that when they click on this, we will talk on behalf of them with. So basically, when on this particular project, we are charging $500 to submit the get match form. Means once they submit the get match form, they have to pay a bill. Then we do the heavy lifting for them. We do that concierge service. That in our this one directory, people were finding CTOs and architects, etc. Many a times the business owner don't know whom they should hire for that problem. Should they hire CTO? Should they hire architect? Should they hire consultant? Whom should they hire? So we do that judgment for them. We talk to 5 different people whom we feel who are already verified, but whom we feel that okay, this is the team from Japan who exactly did something similar of this scale, and we are matching them to a US client. So when we do that, we charge client a fee, the end customer fee. So that makes sense that end customer was not there to just shop prices, but was a serious guy. So when we match this lead to a service provider, that service provider for that reason pays $3,000 a year. Because even if we just give them 3 or 5 leads a year, one deal they will close and they will be 10x in the ROI. So basically offer a concierge service. Concierge service can also make you money. Not just you have to charge your service providers. You can probably make a money model out of get match. Means get matched feature. Trust me, this get matched feature itself can be $1 million revenue engine. BD don't advertise it.
We need to basically a referral matching service. So it's connecting, it's a two-sided marketplace, right? You have like Uber riders and drivers. I want to mention something else about this though. The concierge service aside, your goal as whether you're a director or matching consumers with professionals, again, you want to fail quickly, but you need to focus on capturing email addresses. Your goal as a website owner, I don't care what website you have. I don't care if you're selling shoes, you're selling SEO services, you're a blog. Your goal is to get emails for 99% of the time. And when you shift your focus to how do I collect the most emails, even if you have nothing to offer them afterwards, if you just put your site online, you don't have any professionals, but you're trying to get the consumers to start filling out this get matched form, well, you need to figure out the right verbiage, the right images to use. You want to get people in there. So don't feel bad like I don't want to launch yet because I don't have the professionals. You need to start figuring out how your pages are going to convert as quickly as possible. And even if those leads go to waste the first month because you're still figuring things out, at least you're creating a page that converts. So once you get that second half of the marketplace, the professionals, now you have an ecosystem where you can feed leads to your professionals. There's consumers coming to your site, and then the whole thing will snowball from there. But really shifting to, and then it becomes obsessive because now you're looking at it day to day and you're saying, okay, we had 100 visitors come to this site. 11 of them turned into get matched leads. Okay, great. They're coming from this area, California. Let's go find plumbers in California and tell them we have leads coming in from California or whatever the case may be. But figuring out these systems as quickly as possible is the key to your success. Just one last thing here. And waiting to do it is just kind of almost like making excuses. And I know that it's hard to put yourself out there sometimes because things never seem ready, but the time to be ready is instantly, because this thing is always going to evolve. As even once you nail it, you're going to continue to work on it to make it better, to get your conversion numbers up. And that should be the real focus of any website owner.
Yes, and get matched option really helps in one thing. Tomorrow, my marketing team is going to call home. That depends on what came in my get matched form today. So it's a high conversion calls my marketing team will be doing tomorrow, because they will be saying that we have a lead. Are you taking clients? Okay, just pass on the lead. Call them 1 day or 2 days later. Did you close that? Okay, great. Can we talk some business? Okay, great. So that will convert more faster. And you don't have to call electricians tomorrow if you have a lead looking for plumber today. So you have to fill, means that's what Jason also, acclaimed already. Yeah. We will go to the next slide. Simplify navigation. And so fewer menu links you have, the faster users will act, period. Mini nav bar. So brilliant directories have two things: mini nav bar on the top where your logo sits. And so the entire webinar that we are doing today over here is zero customization. You can launch yourself. So it has mini nav and it has main menu, which both of these functions from Toolbox Menu Manager. So in the main menu have 3 or 5 links: home, browse, join, contact, as simple as best. Forget about, forget blog, forget resources. That you do after first 100 members are done. So the best time to launch, this line we tell to everyone, every client, every employee we hire, the best time to launch was yesterday. Means we put it in everyone's blood. The next best day is today. So don't think about what's happening. You are launching tomorrow. Means we have to be fast.
I have a perfect example for this, actually. We try to launch, when we were running our own directories, we would do things quickly. I have a real example of a site that we put up in like 20 minutes. It actually didn't turn into anything because we got distracted with other things. But to your point here, we bought a domain called Senior Care Tools. It was going to be a site where you can find senior care resources and things like that. We never actually populated with any data, but to Yakin's point about keeping the site simple, and it's so funny you said this. We didn't plan this before. This is just a site that we had online before. Good domain name, seniorcaretools.com. Fine. We didn't even get a logo. We used the BD logo maker. We got rid of everything in the header, just free resource guide, browse by categories. We didn't even have a get listed thing here yet. We just wanted to see if we can get consumer traffic. We were testing Google PPC, pay-per-click, to see how much it would cost to just get consumer traffic to the site. So we weren't even at getting the professionals listed yet. So we were doing PPC, seeing if we can get traffic for pennies on the dollar here. Nothing on the site, just a homepage, click to browse top resources. And then on the homepage, just a really simple app feel of senior care by category. This is exactly what Yakin is talking about. I tried to strip it. There's not even a footer on this site. I stripped everything away from here. But if you came to this site and you came here, I think, let's see what happens when you browse by category. I think we uploaded some categories. Yeah, there's 100 categories here. We didn't do much with it. If we click on browse by category, it takes us here. Let's go to the homepage. I think, yeah, this is just connected to the Google search assist here. If you go to free resource guide, I think, where does this go? Yeah, we were going to create a resource guide to capture email addresses, right? So like we were going to create an ebook offer for the consumers we were driving. But to his point, you could spin up 10 of these sites real easily in different industries, figure out how to drive the traffic, figure out how to collect the email addresses, and then you can figure out how to go after the professionals to close the loop on that ecosystem, on that marketplace. So it's really interesting you're covering this topic, Yakin, because it's something that we've done before and we've done successfully before too. Again, figuring out how to put the pieces together, not the website together.
And whenever you are able to launch in record time, so see, when we are launching as an entrepreneur ourselves, we do that speed. But when we are talking and doing a client relationship, generally it doesn't happen in 1 hour, 2 hours, because exactly that time no one will be available. But still, then think about, if with our clients also we try to do that, means, okay, can we launch this in 1 month, 1.5 months max? Launch it fast and do everything on your, take one more Brilliant Directories license, build all your bells and whistles in that, build all your 100 different dreams on that, build two dreams every month and keep on launching. So for example, take a brilliant example of Brilliant Directories themselves. They might have 100 different things in their pipeline to develop. They don't stop Brilliant Directories. They probably would have the pipeline for 2025. Brilliant Directories team has a pipeline for 2026. They will not launch all at once. Means one or two things launch every month. So this is how you consider yourself a company similar to Brilliant Directories, and launch fast, build later.
I'm going to share this link in the chat here. Just again, it's just a symbol of the methodology of kind of stripping things away and going to the bare bones of an offering. So I shared that in the chat there, but let's continue here. There we same thing here. Like you stripped everything away.
Yeah, so that was Brilliant Directories default, and this is my using Brilliant Directories default, nothing else.
I think the point is clear. Very good. Yes.
Yeah. So just wrapping it up, always start lean. If you can start today, just do it. Try to design for clarity, means clean things, focus on the experience, prioritize your CTAs, the title. The CTAs is not just always the button, it's also the title. So title and the button. Limited categories, clear taglines, and simplifying navigation. Now this is for first 100 members. Now once that problem is solved, the next problem might be 1000. That time a new problem we can think of. You can think of newly, means you can think once again what's next. But for first 100 members, don't think anything else. Just for first 100 members.
I love that. And again, the methodology is, again, you're creating a chain, right? So you spin the website up. And again, we're talking about power users a little bit. We know that not every idea is just kind of like do it quickly. Some require, their existing brands, they have to follow certain practices. But just thinking from a power user perspective, you get the website online. All right, website's online. Step one, can you get traffic to the site? Whether it's through ads or social media, great. Traffic's coming to the site now, and you're doing it affordably. Step two, can you collect emails from that traffic? Okay, great. Now you're not collecting emails. You got to tweak. You're getting the traffic. Now you have to tweak your messaging. Your value proposition is not there. People are leaving. So your messaging is not connecting. Okay, now you're collecting email addresses. Okay, great. Now we're collecting email addresses. Can we engage these people? Now can we convert them to paid plans? So again, think of that chain rather than just the website is the final product. The whole ecosystem of your business is the final product. And if you can figure out models that work for you, or routines or strategies, then you can replicate it. You can be agnostic to the niche or the industry that you're trying to serve, and then you can go after multiple niches at the same time. And again, the directory might not be for paid plans always. A lot of people use it for lead gen. A lot of agencies use directories to get business clients so they can sell their business services to them. The directory is just a foot in the door for that thing. So it's not always about the paid membership, but it's about getting connected or connecting people together. So I'll leave it there. Any final things you want to mention here, Yakin?
No, that's it. One more special in the last thing that we didn't add in this slide is, when you launch with clarity, one thing at a time, and when it's not working, you flip that, you do something else. But again, one thing at a time, that time as well, you will actually understand what worked. And if you have 5 different things on the same, means you're doing 5 different things, what worked, people don't understand. We can't understand what worked. So everything worked or nothing worked, only one thing worked. So that's the mantra. So if anyone wish me and or my team can do your free homepage review, absolutely free, no strings attached, you can just take the photograph of this slide and reach out to us. We will be happy to do 50 or 100 homepage reviews. Probably I have a team waiting for doing that for you.
Fantastic. We'll share a link in the comments, Yakin. Thank you for joining us. And, really, Yakin put together these slides and then we kind of crafted it together. So I appreciate you joining us and sharing your experience with us, Yakin.
Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, everyone.